Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Can you guess what archetype of Carl Jung's I'm doing today? I'm doing the Christopher Columbus. Today's video is the Explorer archetype. Simply put, someone who seeks to uncover the world. Explorers seek authenticity in their lives. They're always curious about the world. Do you have that wanderlust about you like I do? I love to travel. I don't travel well. I hate flying. And I'm really a rigid person. I'm set in my ways, but I love to travel. I love to see other countries. I've been to London. I've been to Paris. I've been to Mexico, Canada, Aruba, Bahamas, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Bermuda. And I wish I could go to a lot more. I'd love to see Rome. I'd love to see Greece. There's plenty more I'd love to see. But it's money, a lot of money, and my deep-seated fear of flying. But that's what these archetypes like to do. They have that wanderlust. They like to explore. Now, let's see. What are the typical explorer characteristics of the archetype? Well, of course, like I've mentioned, they're curious about the world around them, and they seek the answers about the meaning of life. Maybe you're one of these people who likes to go on retreats. You know, spiritual retreats. They have a lot of spiritual retreats, and people go on them. They're all over the world too, these spiritual retreats. In fact, where I used to do yoga, they have them for people in the yoga workshop. They have these workshops, these retreats where you can go. Sometimes they're not far away. They can be like, in New England, like in Connecticut. Other times they're like in Israel. And even my church has these spiritual retreats. But you don't have to be part of a church or in a yoga class to do them. All right, they're independent and travel the world, marching to the beat of their own drum. And that's where I come in. You could say that I have some of the characteristics of the explorer because I love to travel. I don't do a lot of travel. Granted, I don't do a lot of travel. The farthest west I've been is California when I was 10. I recently been to Colorado over the summer. I took a 2-day train ride, all the way to Colorado. 2 days on a train. Slept on a train, ate on a train, showered on a train for 2 whole days. So, yeah, and also I'm unconventional and I don't follow, I go to the beat of my own drum, as you all know. I don't have a 9-to-5 job. That's what they're saying, you know what I mean? By going to the beat of your own drum, being unconventional, like the rebel, doing your own thing, people, artists are like that. Artists do their own thing. They're unconventional. They don't follow, they don't have like that 9-to-5 job. They crave the explorer archetype going on. They crave the freedom to seek their own path. There again, they're very much like the rebel. When I read this, I'm seeing a rebel, right? I am seeing the rebel here. And they value the art of self-discovery and uniqueness. I love to be unique. I think that's the biggest compliment. When someone says you're unique, you're different. Some people take that as an insult, but to me, I think that's the biggest compliment anyone could ever give me, saying I'm unique, That means I stand out in the crowd. You know, why do I want to be like all the sheep, right? I don't want to be like all the sheep. You can't tell one from the other in a herd of sheep, can you? No, I want to stand out, you know. I want to be, that's the biggest compliment, you know. One of the biggest is when someone says that I'm unique, that I'm different. They're resourceful, cultured, and knowledgeable about the world. More so, if you travel the world, you're going to be more knowledgeable. That's what traveling does to you. It enlightens you. You learn about other cultures. You learn other ways, you know, of life. You see other climates, other how people live a different life, like on a different climate. When I was in Aruba, like they used to have these what are these iguanas? Like these big, big lizards, you know, and they'd be like, you know, crawling all around. You know how we see squirrels in New England? I don't go like, wow, look at that squirrel. Look at that chipmunk. Wow. Because I see squirrels and chipmunks all the time. It's nothing for me. But when I was in Aruba, and I saw iguanas, these huge lizards crawling all around, I got really excited. I started snapping pictures, and I was like, and I was like astonished, because I don't see lizards crawling around my backyard. I don't go down the street and see lizards on the sidewalk this big. Palm trees, you know, where I come from, it's like the trees turn all different colors. Green, from green, they'll get red, and they'll get orange, and red. I said red, yeah, golden, yellow. And the people who've never seen that, or who've never seen snow, they can be like in for a shock. Like, what is this white powder coming down from the sky? I hate it. It just makes the roads messy, and you have to shovel it, just like the leaves. They make the roads messy. They make my yard messy. I'm spending hours every day raking my yard. So I'm not happy with it. You know, I'd rather be in a nice palm trees. You know, I love palm trees. But you see, you also learn the way of the people, you know. In Aruba, things are done very slowly. In America, things are done very rushed. I just saying Aruba, but I just bring that to mind because I'm waiting forever for the waitress to bring my cup of coffee, and she's like walking very slow, and this is not an old woman. And, you know, my husband said, hey, look, we're on island time. This is island time, you know what I mean, where things are chill, laid back. I'm like, give me my coffee. You know, in America, everything's fast. They, you know, they bring you food. They want you out the door within 15 minutes. You know, they give it to you, eat it, get out, wipe the table off, next customer. But like in the islands, it's not like that. Things are chill. Things are relaxed. You know, you're on island time, meaning none of that harried rush stuff. You chill out, brother. You know, you chill. Let's see. The archetypes, they can work well with others, but they have a fierce, independent streak and might do better working alone. And this is me. I've had the conventional jobs in the office, the 9-to-5 office job, worked in the computer department, data entry, you know, working on a computer, filing stuff away, all the fun office stuff, you know. And I've worked with tons and tons of people, engineers, you know, computer programmers, everything. But I like to work alone. I like to work for myself. Now I work for myself and I'm my own boss. I can, you know, do what I want when I want to. I can do these videos any time of day. Whenever I choose to do them. You see, I write my books on my schedule and publish them, and I'm doing much better in the book department, believe it or not. I'm doing much better. People are buying those psychology books. They don't buy my poetry books, okay? My poetry books flop. because I just don't think, I've been published formally in magazines. My poems have been published in magazines, but I don't think people like buying poetry, especially if it isn't Emily Dickinson or, William Blake or, some famous poets. They're not going to buy a poetry book from some unknown poet. But I like, working, not being my own boss. I love that. And I do much better working alone. They are usually visionaries and ahead of their time in the way they perceive concepts and ideas. True, very true. They're intelligent, analytical, and have a strong perception of the world around them. They're supportive and patient with those they love. Well, the supportive part, yes. The patient part, no. So I think, I wouldn't really call myself the explorer. I have characteristics of the explorer. Like I said, I call myself the creator. I call myself the rebel. But I have characteristics of the explorer, but I would not call myself an explorer. Because not all these are true, and I don't travel that much to be an explorer. I've done some traveling, but how much of Europe have I seen? Like 2 countries, and that's the only other continent I've been on other than my continent. So I'm really not a traveler. If you're a traveler, you've seen several continents. You've probably seen most of Europe. You've seen South America. You've been to Asia. You've probably been to China, Japan. That is a person who's a traveler. Me, not so much. I just have some characteristics of it. They can solve difficult problems and understand complicated patterns easily, and that's not me. I'm not good at solving I'm good at making problems. I'm good at creating problems, not solving them. Just ask my husband. But they're nonconformists, and they like to push boundaries of establishment. That's me in spades. I'm definitely a nonconformist, and I definitely always push the boundaries. In fact, I wrote a book about it, Love Outside the Boundaries. They never want to be bored and seek the unknown. This is true. I don't like to be bored, but I entertain myself all the time. Look at all the karaoke videos I did. This station started out, this channel, not station. I'm not on the TV or the radio. This channel, YouTube channel, started out as karaoke. I love doing karaoke outside, on cruises, in restaurants, at office parties. So I said, well, why not, do a karaoke channel? And then I'd done that like 3 years, and I put so much effort and time in it. I said, I want to be monetized, but I'm never going to get money on a 2 or 3 minute karaoke video. I mean, you have to at least do something like 15, 20 minutes so that there would be ample time to put the commercials in. And then what else do I love? Psychology. So that's when I started talking more about psychology, because then I could do longer videos on that. All right. They never want to be bored. Yep, I've already said that. They don't rely on others for validation or self-awareness. I used to all the time rely on others for validation, but not anymore. Now I simply don't, and I like that part of me. Examples of explorer archetypes. Indiana Jones is the ultimate explorer, as he goes on daredevil quests, outruns giant boulders, and doesn't follow anyone's rules to find the rare artifacts, just for the thrill of the chase. How many people watch Indiana Jones? Captain Kirk! Where are our Star Wars fans? Where are our Star Wars fans? Captain Kirk from Star Wars. Mission was literally to boldly go where no man has gone before. Captain Kirk. You know who I thought was cute? Spock, Leonard Nimoy. Let me tell you something. I always had a crush on Leonard Nimoy. I had a good friend named Ronnie. He died, unfortunately. Ronnie and me, we go back. That's all I'm going to tell you. But he looked like Leonard Nimoy. And I always thought Leonard Nimoy was cute. I didn't go for Captain Kirk. All right. Erin Brockovich in the 2000 movie of the same name is also an example of an explorer. When she saw an injustice happening, polluting of underground water in her hometown, she challenged the entire system to bring down the corrupt corporation involved. Ariel from Little Mermaid! Oh, I love Little Mermaid! See, I mean, all these movies are perfect examples of these archetypes. That's why they mention these movies, and that's why I mention movies, you know, in my videos now. Ariel was obsessed with the human world, remember? And wanted nothing more than to explore the above surface of the ocean. She paid an enormous price for the chance, casting off the expectations of her family and tradition to do so. Wasn't that evil octopus woman in that movie? Like that purple, you know, big, fat, ugly octopus. That's the movie, right? Didn't she do something? It's been so long since I've seen it, you know. Arya Stark from Games of Thrones. How many Games of Thrones fans here? Can also be classified under this archetype. I hope I said that name right. Arya Stark, Arya, because I'm not a Games of Thrones person. That's why. Sorry. She didn't want to be a lady by the standards of the world she lived in. Even before she was forced from her home, Arya wanted to explore, fight, and blaze her own path. And that's it for us explorers. So, maybe you find yourself having some characteristics of certain explorers. Maybe you can identify wholly with other explorers. And maybe some seem so foreign to you, like, you know, I'm definitely not that explorer. Let me know. What explorer are you? I think we have one or two more to go. So